Hey guys, girls, and others, we're back again on the Dead Redded channel, this time with a story time. Now, as you can see in the title, this story time is going to be about me going to my first motive. I moved to London a couple months ago. After I got here, I didn't exactly quarantine because I was still kind of having tourist vibes. Now, for everybody that doesn't even know what a motive is, basically a motive is like a party, but it's like the European way of saying it. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right to the story time. A while back, before I even moved to London, my friend introduced me to this app called Yubo. Now, I know it holds a lot of shit behind it because like literally my first day of college, like people were talking shit about it and all this shit. I didn't even tell them that I used it. When I first got here, like that's where I was getting all my girls from. Like I don't even know. Like it's like so much easier when you're a tourist or whatever. Well, not a tourist, but like you get the point. Like when you're a fucking baseline immigrant. But anyways, he gets me on this app, right? And this was still when I was living in Canada. After I came to London, I made a new account and you know, I would swipe and I would message like people, you know. I was really picky. Well, I still am really picky. Probably like add 20 out of like 100. I don't know, but I was really picky. So I add this one girl, right? We start talking, you know, messaging, whatever, you know, basic shit. And then she says that she's going to a motive. I'm like,
oh shit, I just moved here, you know, like I'm trying to like party too, you know what I'm saying?
And at that point, coronavirus wasn't super crazy. So I was just like,
fuck it, man. Like I might as well just get myself out there, you know?
So she invites me to this party and the party had already started. Let me just give you guys a little bit of like a time period. When she invited me, it was about 1 o'clock. I went to the party at around 5. The party had gone, but apparently it went till like 2 a.m. I didn't stay there for that long. So she invites me to this party, right? And I'm walking. It was far. It was like west something. I'm not gonna give a location, but anyone who lives in these ends, it has a forest. And I arrived there. It did take a while, but my first impression of this girl was confusing to say the least because it was the first that I had seen of what I'm about to tell you. So she walks up to me, right, with her friend, and she has a baby's bib. I think it's a bib, like the thing that babies suck on. She had that in her mouth, and I was like,
what type of fucking kinks are you in?
I later found out that it was because of a certain drug, and it basically makes you like chew a lot or some shit, and then like different people have like baby bibs so that they don't chew their fucking gums out. Anyway, so she walks up to me with that baby's bib. She legit is like, oh my god, you look cuter in person. You know, I wasn't sure yet. I don't really usually pick up girls from parties anyways. So yeah, we start going to the party. We're walking through the forest, right? Mind you, this is my first impression of like everything. It's like my first week. It's in like the middle of the fucking forest, which is straight up sketchy. Yeah, so when we get to this party, there's just music, girls, guys, whatever, you know. Everybody's just kind of like partying and jumping up and down. I didn't imagine motives to be like this. I mean, this was my first impression of it. So I was like, isn't this just a normal fucking party? But I don't know. I thought like at the time I was like,
it's just their slang, you know, every country has their own slang.
There were some pretty sus figures. There was this one dude with a ski mask with some next like gold teeth. It actually looked kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, I start looking around and there's girls with bunny ears on. So she starts introducing me to her friends and stuff. She introduces me to the drug dealer. I wasn't thinking on buying anything because kids never buy drugs from a party because you don't know if it's laced, you don't know what's in it, you don't know anybody there. That was rolling through my head definitely, but at the same time I was very hyped up because it was my first party in a whole new country, which was fucking lit. And at the same time people started crowding me because I was the Canadian, and everybody was crowding me. They were like, oh, can you speak in your accent please? After I'm like, I'm speaking my accent, but then I start getting annoyed because I didn't come out here to be a fucking clown. I get up and I walk over to the drug dealer, right? I'm just sick of this shit. It's like 1 or 2 grams. And I walk back over to the log and the girl there with the bunny ears asks me if I want her to roll it, right? At the time, it just seemed like an honest gesture. Again, no one even knew my name. They just knew I was a foreigner, so they were just nice to me for some reason. I've noticed that. Everybody here is actually really, really nice. All of my Canadian audience come to London, you'll get treated pretty good. Alright, so then after she's done rolling, she gives me the spliff, right? I start smoking it. If I have a video, I'll probably pop it up right here. So I started smoking it. I'm in the forest, I'm chilling. I ended up talking to this other guy that is pretty cool actually. We just vibed for like a little bit, you know, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes and just chilled. After I'm done smoking it, I go over and I start talking to the girl who invited me. She starts talking to me, we start talking, you know, one thing leads to another, you know. I'm very high, okay? I don't usually try to pick up girls at parties. I start making my move, right? I'm like, oh, okay, you wanna like walk for a bit. We start like walking away from the party, right? And there's Okay, this part's kind of like fucking embarrassing because I just did not give a fuck. I just did not give two shits. I kid you not, I walk over to the bush, right? And I'm like, hey, we should just chill here. My legs are starting to hurt, right? That's not the embarrassing part. So I start talking to her, right? And we start kissing, right? I'm not gonna get too explicit because this is YouTube, but we start doing our thing. It's not even like a closed environment. Like, people are walking by, but it's getting very dark to the point where you can't really see anyone in the bush. So no one really gives a shit. One thing led to another. I'm just gonna keep saying that because I don't want to get demonetized. You know, one thing led to another, and she starts giving me a little like. But I just started like zoning out. I was like, holy shit. And I started like realizing, and I kept saying it in my head, holy shit, I'm in fucking London getting I'm in London getting it was like some serious tourist fucking shit. I don't know if anyone's experienced this. If you've gone to like a foreign country and you're just chilling on the beach and you just realize where the fuck you are, it's like,
Whoa.
I'm in Hawaii. You just feel like the fucking king of the world or some shit. While she's doing her thing, her friends walk by and they start calling her name. And I kid you not, they cock-blocked me while I was fucking zoning out, chilling in a forest, listening to music, high as fuck, getting I went to tons of motives since. She fucking like basically fucking just ditched me. Her friends got her and they had to like tell her something, which was fucking funny. And then I didn't really give a shit, right? I got up, I started just kind of spacing out. So I do that for like about 5-10 minutes. So eventually I get tired of fucking whatever the fuck I was doing. I call her, basically just explain to her that I'm about to go home, you know. After I tell her that I'm about to leave, she says that she's gonna come to me, right? And I'm like,
Okay, I'm at the entrance of the party, you know, where we were chilling, right?
and she starts coming to me, right? And it literally takes her so much fucking time. This was the most annoying. I wanted to say bye, you know, without like just like leaving. I wanted to just be like, later, like thanks for inviting me, whatever, you know, like thank her or whatever. And I probably could have done that on the phone now that I really think about it, but I was like, I wanted to like see her in person, you know. Alright guys, we're gonna continue the story time after my friend Ft.thereal3l, who's also another YouTuber and he has an Instagram, link in the description. He's gonna talk about his first motive experience as well.
Hey, what's up? Ft.thereal speaking here, and you know, those are my Instagram @s and my YouTube. You know, you should get at it. I do story times. I talk about a lot of different things. So for today, I'm gonna carry on from where he left off. And yeah, so my first motive was a bit stale, dry, nothing happened, nobody did anything, no fights, you know, nothing interesting, you know. But you know, my second one was a lot more interesting because that's where shit did happen and nothing good came out of that. So this took place when I was about like, I don't know, 14, 15, moving on to 15. It was still in year 8, and you know, me and my buddies planned to go up to like a party thing. It was an outdoor one, so yeah, motive basically. And a lot of people getting drunk, high, and all sorts. And it was around then where, you know, I first started to, you know, develop a little bit of a social life where, you know, I started to make friends and go out and do all sorts of shit. But honestly, I did not think I would even be going to a motive. So I ended up, you know, going. So my second motive happened at Finsbury Park, FBK. If you're from London, then you know exactly where that is. I don't know about y'all though. And basically, it was my first time sneaking out. So first things first, I ended up going to the motive, and there were a bunch of people who were known for doing bad things, you know, stealing, all sorts of things. And they were much older than me. They were around like, I don't know, year 11 or year 12, and I was around year 8. Actually, I wasn't year 8. And what happened was, at the end of the party, these guys robbed me of my phone and they took my money and yeah, and my coat. And at the time I had an iPhone 5S, and that was a big deal at the time. And since that was gone, I couldn't get any phone calls from my carers, and basically I was stuck outside at 2 in the morning with no bus pass. They took all my shit, trust me. And yeah, when I went home, I got my ass beat, and that was like the next day around 7. So that's basically my second ever motive and how it just went severely wrong. And basically, I got my ass beat at home. Most people go to motives to have a blast, get high, and just go home absolutely knocked out. And well, yeah, that's all good, but like, I think my first two left a little bit of a memory on me, more like a stain in my memory. And yeah, not my thing.
Thanks for the interesting story, Ft.thereal. Hopefully we can collab again sometime. Alright, so for this video, I felt like telling the end of the story, like, first. I don't know. It's like fucking 1 a.m., so I'm like hella tired. But after a while of basically just like trying to call her over and over. And see, keep in mind, I was really like, I don't usually do that. I don't usually wait for people, but like when I'm really high, it just kind of messes with your brain. Like, I don't know, it just fucks you. That's the easiest way to put it. So I'm just standing here like a fucking idiot, and eventually I just got pissed off and I just cut. But I'm walking home, and I'm pretty sure I still have the video. I can't really show it. I was walking home in the middle of the dark, and it was just like, I started talking to myself and I recorded myself. I really like doing that. I really like recording myself when I'm high, and I was just like super fucking dark. Like, I can't see shit. I'm not even using my flashlight neither. Like, I'm just recording myself saying some dumb shit. Don't know how I didn't get lost. Yeah, so I'm walking home and I realized that I'm gonna get into a fuck ton of trouble. For one, I'm super fucking high, and I go home, I fucking walk in, she fucking like called Child Protection Services. Man, it just turned into a huge fucking thing. Like, it's just like this curfew thing, especially when you're like at a party. It's like every minute it's like time works differently. I knew that I had to leave earlier, and I was like, okay, I need to go, but then I was like, okay, wait, I can just stay like 10 more minutes and it would probably be fine. But long story short, I got into a fuck ton of trouble. I couldn't go outside for a while, but I did end up getting like a proper curfew that was basically earlier than fucking 6 o'clock, which was ridiculous to begin with. It ended in somewhat of a good way, you know. I got a feel for the language in general. Well, not the language, but the accent in general, you know. I got a feel for kind of like the girls around here. I made some new friends too. I got some like Instagrams and Snapchats and stuff. But yeah, I officially became the Canadian that day, pretty much. So yeah, I just went to this party, and I'm super flooper duper, jagged coopered. You know, life would be easier, life would be hard.